All right, hey guys, let's give lesson 5 another shot. All right, here's the question. Does the computer understand Java? Well, let's take a look and read this thing and see what the answer is. And if we look right here, Java is a compiled programming language, meaning the code we write in Java is transformed. So the answer is no. The computer can't understand Java. It's a language we're going to learn, but for the computer to understand it, we have to compile it. And the next question is, what is a compiler? So you can read in here and find out the answer. Okay, and then the next thing is what they're trying to get us to do is here's our robot. It's named compiling. Okay, here is the file, compiling.java. So this file is building our robot compiling. Our robot compiling, pretty simple, just prints out a bunch of stuff. So in order to compile this thing, we type in Java. I click over here. I'm going to type in Java C, which means Java compile. It's like, well, what do I want to compile? I want to compile this file called compiling.java. So I have to write it right, so with a capital. Okay, so if I type in compiling.java and hit enter, it's going to say, hey, you have a compiling error, right? And what's the error? If you look through here, we forgot to put the period. Not really a period. In English, it'd be a period, but for Java, we forgot to put a semicolon after this. So basically, whenever you put a semicolon, it means do it. So that semicolon says do this, do this, do this. So we're going to add in our semicolon. And then if we type in now, so anyway, now it's going to work. So if I type in Java C compiling .java, it's not going to give us error messages. So the other thing we're supposed to do is we're supposed to type in, what are we supposed to type in? Hold on, let me look. Yeah, so we're supposed to type in ls for list and hit enter. And when you, so I'm not totally following their instructions, so make sure you follow their instructions step by step so that you can get to the next thing. But now we can go next and get to lesson 6. All right, so lesson 6 out of 7. What is an executable class? We're going to answer those questions in a second. Let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so I want you to hit pause and read through all this stuff. Okay, and it's going to help you answer. So the deal is this. So if we type in ls for list and hit enter, we have compiling.java. What is that? Okay, so the .java is this file right here. Okay, and the computer can't read it. So we have code that eventually we'll be able to read. This is code that some programmer wrote, right? And it's in correct syntax. They did it right. The problem is the computer, we can understand it, the programmer can understand it, but the computer can't understand it. So we have this Java file. Well, this is like the source code that the programmer wrote. Again, the programmer can't, or the computer can't understand it. So we have to convert it to computer code that the computer can understand. So we're going to say Java C, and then we're going to say compiling .java. So we're asking it, hey, please compile that, turn that Java into machine language that the computer can understand. Okay, and so now if I say ls and hit enter, so now there's two files. There's our original Java file, so a file that a programmer can understand, and now we actually have a class that the computer can understand. So we have two files, one in Java, one in machine language. Okay, so let's recap. I took a little breakfast break there, so let's recap. So we have our Java file that we can read, but the computer can't, and now we have our executable class. So the compiling.class is an executable class that the computer can actually run it. And so here's the format for, here's how we execute a command. So you say Java, and then you say the name of the executable class. So the name of our executable class is compiling. So we're going to say Java. I'm going to say Java and then compiling. And we're going to hit enter. And you can see it actually told the robot, hey, do what you know how to do. And it did everything it knows to do. And it printed all this stuff out. And then we're going to check the work. And it says that we're done. And we can go on to the next one, which is the last one, number 7. All right, so here we are on lesson 7 of 7. Read this. This basically gives an overview of what we've learned. So this is going to be the kind of stuff that's going to show up on a test, so it should be helpful. It says, all right, the text editor holds an empty file name review.java. We see that. There's nothing in it. It's empty, and it wants us, the instructions are, it wants us to define a public class name review. So if we go back, we can see how to do this. Let's see if it pops up. Yeah, so you're going to say public, in this case we said public class compiling when we had an open curly brace and a closing curly brace. So ours isn't called compiling. What's it called? Review. So it's going to be something like public class review. Yeah, so we're going to say public class capital review, and then we have our opening curly brace, which is next to the P, and then it automatically put in our closing one for us, and I'm going to move it down a little bit for us. Okay, and so let's see if that's good enough. So we're going to check. So we'll hit run, and it didn't like it. Let's see what the problem is. Oh, haha. It gave an error for an obvious reason. So this is the start, but we don't have our, and it says right here. So like when I looked at, when I freaked out because of the error, but it's like there's no main method. So we have a robot. His name is review, but if you look, he has no instructions. So he has to have an instruction. So if you look right here, it says this code produces an error because the Java needs a main method. Now we have to write the main method within the curly braces of the review class. So we have our start of the robot, end of the robot. So we're going to go right here, and we always start our main method with public static void main, and then we're going to put string, and then there's a bracket args, and then we have our open curly brace, and then it automatically puts in our closing curly brace. All right, let's see what happens if I run it now. It doesn't like it. Okay, so I just found out that this thing is super picky. So I hit enter after this, and it didn't like it. But if I type it in without putting enter, it liked it. So holy cow, that's pretty picky. But you have to keep working with it. All right, so inside the curly braces for the main menu, write the main method. Main method executes for the task of that class. Okay, what do we want to do? Okay, so right here it says write the, as a single. Okay, so we're supposed to write the comment. So we click right here, hit enter. So as a single one, we do a double slash and write the, yeah, that's fine. I was about to say you have to put it in quotation marks, but not for a comment. The main method and so yeah, we have our comment. This is for human readers. I'm going to hit run and see if it likes it. All right, so it liked it, and so now, actually, before I go any further, I'm going to get rid of all these. These are kind of confusing. All right, so I'm going to go after my comment. I'm going to hit here, and then I'm going to type in the capital SYSTEM. You have to use capitals out dot print line, and then parentheses, and then it's important that you put quotation marks, and you're going to write my first Java. And let's see, run it. Doesn't like it. Oh, I forgot my semicolon. Okay, so that's it. So here's what I want you to do is I want you to all right. And so what I want you to do is I want you to take a screenshot of this piece that you finished so I can see that you finished 7 of 7. It says up next, so I know you're done. So press on the keyboard, press Control, Alt, and print screen. Take a screenshot of it. Okay, so then you open up paint.net. So again, you press Control, Alt, and print screen on the keyboard. You're going to press Control V here in paint.net. Oh, that wasn't it. All right, let me try it again. Let me go back to my... Okay, so you press Control and V in paint.net or any other drawing program. And for paint.net, you hit Expand Canvas. So I've got the picture of my screen, so I'm going to go File, Save As. I'm going to save it to my folder where I can find it. I'm going to save it to my documents. I'm going to save it to Intro to Programming. I'm going to save it into chapter 1 of, and I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it Code Academy 1, and I'm going to save that. Okay, then next, I got to click OK. Yeah, save it. Okay, so then I'm going to go to my Intro to Programming in Canvas. I'm going to go to Code Academy Lesson 1. I'm going to submit the assignment. I'm going to choose a file upload. I'm going to choose the file. I'm going to go to my documents. I'm going to go to Intro to Programming. And I'm going to go into lesson 1, and there it is. All right, and I'm going to submit that assignment. Okay, thank you for being patient with that. There you go.